Have you ever wanted to change something? Have you ever wanted to stand up to a bully or say something to that person you go weak in the knees over? Have you ever wanted to do better in school or get a better job or maybe lose some weight or get in better shape? Or have you ever been darn right pissed off about animal abuse, child abuse, environmental abuse, or domestic violence? Be it something large or something small, we all want to change things sometimes. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why change is so damn difficult and how we can persevere toward our dreams anyway. Have you ever watched a golden opportunity come your way and then pass you by? Have you ever missed that perfect chance to introduce yourself to someone or stand up for something you believe in? Our resistance will stand in our way, whether it is a pursuit of music and art, of starting a new business, or even starting a diet or trying to improve our lifestyle. That little voice in our head will nag at us with criticism and negativity. And when you think about when that little voice speaks up the most, it's rarely to support or encourage us in our endeavors. We say things like, "I've always wanted to do this," or "if I could only do that," because our fear makes us think that we can't. There's a really great book called The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, and in it he describes how our internal critic, our resistance, will play all kinds of mind games to prevent us from pursuing and succeeding in the things that we really feel driven to do. But he also describes that fear and self-doubt are really great indicators of our passions. Whatever thing we feel most passionate about is the thing we're going to have the most fear and self-doubt over. Simply becoming aware of my resistance has helped me immensely, and I recommend that book to everybody. I recognize that I have a tremendous amount of fear about pursuing my music career, but I choose to do it anyway. Hell, I resisted finishing this video script for weeks, but I forced myself to just sit down and do it because I know that I really wanted to create this video. And when we do stare resistance in the eyes and kick it in the nuts, the payoff is usually really, really huge. Can you think of any things in your life that you've resisted just because you feel fearful about them or you have self-doubt about yourself? Are there ways that you could improve your life right now by kicking resistance in the nuts and going through with your dreams, even if you have some fear about them? Do you know people who will circle a parking lot 10 times just so they can find the closest parking spot? Do you find yourself eating at the same restaurants over and over and over again just because they are conveniently located? Whether it's recycling, eating healthy, or supporting local businesses, it is rarely as convenient as adding to the trash heaps, eating junky fast foods, or just shopping at the mainstream chains. But in this world of highly important and highly trivial decisions, we have to ask ourselves, what's more important? Baby seals or the precious time that it takes to recycle? A couple of minutes that you save by supporting the same mainstream chains over and over again, or a couple of extra minutes that it may take to drive a few miles to the local store? Or avoiding triple bypass surgery, or making the decision to spend a little extra time cooking and maybe a little extra money on a healthier lunch. I mean, after all, after the end of the day or 5 or 10 years, is it our health that keeps us out of the hospital and able to live happy lives, or is it the little bit of time we saved by prioritizing convenience? Can you think of things that you do just out of convenience, or decisions that you make where convenience is the primary deciding factor? Are there things in your life that you could do to improve the environment or improve your health simply by taking a less convenient route? Do you ever find yourself justifying an extra expense because it saves you time, or exerting more effort because it saves you money? It's certainly hard to resist a bargain, and it's hard to justify spending money if we feel we don't technically have to. And yet we spend money on our cars, our clothes, our pets, and all kinds of different things. So why is it so hard to justify spending an extra dime for our health or for a cause that we believe in? For most of us, consequences are a primary motivator, and if you aren't feeling motivated to take care of your health, you should know that 8 of the top 10 leading causes of preventable death are attributable to diet and lack of exercise. And you can watch more of my videos because I just can't stop talking about it. You could also see money that you spend on organic foods or other natural foods as an investment in your health, saving you money down the road that you won't have to spend on prescription drugs, on surgeries, or because you're out of work because you get put in the hospital. It's easy for us to use money as an excuse for avoiding change. It's just too expensive, or I just don't have the money to, I just can't afford it. But how much money do you really think that you spend on clothes, pet toys, games, entertainment, or other stuff you feel like you need? In 2009, Americans spent $73.9 billion on soda pop alone. Now that's $242 for every man, woman, and child in America. Are there any things that you spend your money on that you think you could use more wisely? Are there any ways that you could use your finances more wisely to improve your health or your overall happiness? Have you ever been completely stumped trying to make a decision about something? Where to eat, what to wear, which event to go to, which chore to do first? And you know that amazing feeling when someone just makes that decision for you? Let's eat Thai food. Wear the black dress. Suddenly, all of that stress and overwhelm just dissipates as soon as the decision is made, no matter how trivial the decision may really be. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things that we'd like to change, and especially when we start to examine corporate abuse or political corruption, the mountain can seem too high to climb. And if we try to climb every mountain at once, we're likely to freeze in our own footsteps. Like a deer in headlights, we stand there, paralyzed by our own fear, not knowing where to even start. But remember, there's no motion in indecision. Nothing gets done while you're standing there trying to decide what to do first. Your best bet is to just make a decision and start somewhere. Like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It's okay that we can't do everything. I mean, that's not physically possible in the first place. We're always going to feel like there's more work to be done, more things we'd like to do, more causes we'd like to serve. But we can't let that prevent us from doing what we can do, from just picking something and getting started on it right now. Have you ever started a diet or started a workout plan, nailed it for the first week, and then never did it again? While we often start out with the best intentions, creating new habits and breaking old habits is not an overnight process. We live in a world of immediate gratification with cell phones and technology and all of these things that are happening very instantaneously, that it makes us feel like the changes we make in ourselves should also be that instant. But it's not fair for us to expect that we can make huge changes in our lifestyle that quickly. And if we go through life with the expectation that we're going to be able to make these instantaneous changes in our lifestyle, then we're going to end up feeling really frustrated and really discouraged. We get caught in that feedback loop of being discouraged and being hard on ourselves and beating ourselves up. But think about the way that you would treat a child that you were teaching how to read or teaching them how to learn something new. Think about the patience and understanding that you would have for that child. And think about what it would be like if you treated yourself with that same patience, that same compassion and understanding. But if we allow ourselves time, to make changes in our lifestyle and create new habits, and we focus on being encouraging of ourselves rather than hard on ourselves, then we're much more likely to be able to keep up with those goals, and we're less likely to burn ourselves out or let ourselves down. I mean, after all, would it be easier to never eat fast food again, or to incorporate one new vegetable into your diet every week? Would it be easier to never support a mainstream chain again, or focus on visiting one local business every month? I bet that if you gave yourself the challenge of cooking at home or exercising just once per week, that you could commit for a whole month. And before long, that habit would be so ingrained that you wouldn't even think about it. And suddenly, you'd be exercising one more time per week than you already do. Think about a time that you helped someone. Maybe you helped someone carry something heavy, or lent somebody a couple extra dollars when they were in a rough spot. Or maybe you helped a friend through a really rough emotional time. Now think about a time that someone helped you. When you ran out of gas or needed an extra dollar to pay for your groceries. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed by a problem, we say things like, "I don't make that much of a difference," or "there's nothing that I alone can do." But think again about those times that you helped someone or that someone helped you, and then tell me that one person doesn't make a difference. I mean, what would have happened if Martin Luther King would have just given up because he thought that one person couldn't make a difference? Or Gandhi or Mother Teresa? It's really easy for us to feel isolated and alone and say things like, "Oh, one person doesn't make a difference." But think about all of the amazing things that have happened in history that really just had to do with one person or one movement led by one person who really believed in something. If there are things in your life that you are avoiding doing because you feel like you don't make a difference, that's just absurd, and that's a horrible reason for avoiding change. What happens when your boss asks you to start writing up an extra report every week? Do you say, "Great! Luckily, I've been saving 45 minutes in my weekly schedule just in case you should ask me to do something else"? Doubtful. But somehow you find a way to make the time. Or what about when the car breaks down, or the kids get sick, or when something comes up and you have to get 5 hours worth of chores done in 2 hours? Somehow we find the time, or we make the time. But why is it so much easier to find time to do things for work than to find time to do things for ourselves, like relaxing or doing yoga or just doing something entertaining to relieve our stress? "I don't have time" is one of the most popular excuses for avoiding homework, eating healthy, exercising, learning something new, or taking on a new project. And when I find myself saying, "I don't have time for that," I check myself. Is it the time I don't have, or the motivation to make time that I don't have? If we have enough motivation, we will find the time, whether it's to watch our favorite show, or watch the entire season, or take on new tasks at work, or take care of a family member who's sick. Really productive people don't have any more time than any of the rest of us. They just know how to use their time wisely. They focus on the rewards that they'll reap by staying focused on what they want to do and pursuing what's important to them. What are some things that you avoid because you feel like you don't have time? Of course, we would rather watch our favorite TV show than cook a healthy meal, but we have to kind of weigh the benefits and weigh the pros and cons. And if we're really honest with ourselves, then we can still make time for the things we love, and we can still make time for the things that we should make time for. We just have to use our time more wisely and be open to weighing the costs and benefits of the different things we spend our time on. Have you ever known someone who hears about corporate abuse or governmental corruption and says, that's just how it is? They accept that just because that's how it is now, or that's how it's been for a long time, that that's how it always has to be, and that somehow that makes it okay. Think about all of the incredible movements that this country has seen. Abolishing slavery, women's liberation, same-sex marriages. All of these different changes would have never happened if someone just accepted that, nah, that's how it is. And if that's just how it is, or this is just how I am, is one of your excuses for avoiding change, then you have to realize that that really is an excuse, not a reason, and it's a pretty bad excuse at that. The final reason that you can't change might just be that you are too lazy. We have to face that we are creatures of habit. We do things habitually, and if we're going to change an old habit or create a new habit, it's going to take a little bit of effort on our parts. Maybe you don't have the motivation to make the time, or maybe your fear and resistance have become so strong that they overpower your desire to pursue a healthier you or pursue a cause you believe in. Maybe you've let your excuses become your reasons. Maybe you've gotten so used to just accepting corruption, abuse, or environmental damage that you really don't care at all. Maybe you just feel apathetic, discouraged, disconnected, and making excuses has become a habit of itself. Making this video has been quite an experience for me. It challenged me to delve into my own fear and my own resistance, and to really face my own excuses for avoiding change. And the point of this video is not to make you feel bad about yourself or to try and guilt you into changing, but to help you realize that any change we make in our lives, we have to make for ourselves. Because we believe that we can be happier. We want to be happier. We want to be healthier. We want to help a friend or help a neighbor. Maybe we want to save a baby seal. And most of all, we want to change because we know that we can. We aren't stilted by our fear. We aren't halted by our own self-doubt. We pursue our dreams despite all that fear and resistance. And we know that they will always be there trying to stop us, and we will always be there kicking them in the balls. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and if you haven't done so already, please click on the like button to give me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this, I encourage you to share it with your friends on the Facebook and leave me a comment. I've asked a lot of questions and I would love to hear your response. If you've ever wondered what your happiness has to do with your buying stuff, then click on this video in the upper left-hand corner, Happiness and the Story of Stuff. And if you've ever wondered what your body image has to do with your happiness, you can click on the video in the top right, Happiness and Boob Jobs. How do you feel about yourself? Do you love yourself and feel motivated to go out and tackle the day? If you've ever had problems with self-esteem, then I encourage you to check out our video about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how we can improve our self-esteem. And if you'd like to learn about Maslow's expanded hierarchy of needs and how we can use that to be happy, you can check out this video in the bottom right corner.